Welcome back to the Road to 2200 with the Fried Fox. What is the Fried Fox, you may ask? Well, if you're unfamiliar, let me show you. It's this troll opening, this meme opening, developing the king on the second move. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is to throw our opponent out of their preparation, give them a bit of a shock, and put ourselves in the driver's seat. Because even though we have a disadvantage, even though it's a bad position, at least we are familiar with this bad position, and at least we know how to play this bad position, and we know the typical weaknesses and all that. So here we are. Got a decent start to the game. Not the worst position in the world, but definitely could be a lot better. I'm just trying to see what the best move is. I'm thinking about a d6 maybe. I'm just a bit wary of that potential weakness on... I'm going to go something a bit weird here. Okay, interesting. So wants to trade in the center. Let's go c5. Let's see if we can develop that knight to c5. That would be a wonderful square. Now, of course, that makes a lot more sense. Pushing the d pawn, that's exactly what I would do in their spot. So no problem with that at all. Let's get... this could get very hairy, actually, after knight b5. Maybe we have to start fighting. Start duking it out for this center. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. Actually, I'm already starting to wonder what the logic was there, but... Oh, the pawn on a7 as well. This could very easily get hairy. Hoping to come into d4 and swap that knight off, neutralize everything, but we will see if that even happens. So I think we got lucky there because they could have played knight takes a7, but this is okay too. So now we've got rid of that annoying knight. We need to really try and capitalize and try and take that c pawn or the d pawn out. Just try and stop this rolling wall of pawns from completely dominating us in the center here. So just trying to prod and poke for weaknesses in their center. So we're playing this move b5, just attacking the c4 pawn. Got the rook on c8. Okay, that is a very, very natural move, very expected. And unfortunately here we've only got one square, so that is a bit rough, but unfortunately I'm getting kicked again, so not the best situation to be in, that's for sure. But let's make do with what we can. And okay, yeah, that's getting pretty hairy. What if we sack that? Check. Does it do anything? I don't think so. I think we just have to give this up. Unfortunately, have to give up that pawn. Backtrack our queen. We're down several pawns. We're down on time. It's not looking good at all for us. So let's try and get something happening on the king side here. Better or for worse. Try and open the H file a little bit. So at least we have some kind of counterplay. Yeah, not liking that at all, but I don't think we have too much of a choice here. You know what? I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. Sack the rook. Sack the rook. Try and get something happening over here. Oh, I don't even know if that's any good. No, that's not good at all. I should have played queen d5 first, probably. Actually, it doesn't really matter because it's all losing. So, yeah. In a lot of trouble here for sure. 5 seconds on the clock. I completely just bombed this one. Yeah, there's no stopping the queen coming in there at all, so we're certainly in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Okay, let's start a new game. Got to try and be a bit more careful not to let... because one of the problems with this opening is when they get that pawn center just rolling through the middle, so that's definitely an issue. So we need to really be cognizant of that. So try and get the bishop out here. Try and push d4. Really try and push d4. Yes, we won't have an isolated pawn, but at least we have a pawn center. They don't have an unrelenting wall of pawns just rolling straight down the board. So let's go. So to be fair, b5, bends b4. So we got to play a3, try and halt that a little bit. Get our bishop out of the back rank, and then get our own wall of pawns rolling towards their king. So that's my plan for this game. I just really want to play quickly, put them under pressure, that kind of thing. Look, we've got that knight there protecting everything, so really this is not too bad. And where we kick this knight here, and then we can bring the other rook from the A file across. So really not complaining at our position. We definitely have lots of attacking ideas. This is much more favorable than last game where we were just completely downtrodden. So look, if they play a4, we have to take and then backtrack this knight. I think we have to backtrack it anyway. Yeah. Then we can backtrack the queen to b1. And then we seem to be okay. Like their pawns have run out of steam. We've got rooks pointing down the G and H files. This looks absolutely dangerous. This looks very, very dangerous for them. Okay, so the whole idea of what they're trying to do is they're trying to get something started. Okay. Trying to get something started with the rooks on the A file. So let's bust this open and get down to business. So get this knight up and happening. Bring it into the position. Can't see any immediate threats, but look, we've got all sorts of building ideas. You know, we've got rook coming into g6, attacking the queen. You know, let's just build it up. I'm liking that idea. Rook g6, attacking the queen. Just trying to slowly improve the position of each of my pieces. And I could play the other rook to g1, but if they play queen e7, then they can swoop in to the g5. Okay, so now I'm really liking this. Just doubling this up. Keeping everything reinforced. That's definitely something I'm liking here. Now, if they move the knight, then they have queen h4 as a threat. But at the moment, that's not absolutely critical. Ooh. Okay, this works out okay. We can defend everything. And we want to play rook back to g6, I think. Ooh. Rook back to g6. Oh, but then it takes on h5, but... Oh, this is just really weird and wonderful. Not sure. Oh, but then the queen h5. Oh, yeah. This is not fun anymore. Oh, no. It's getting very nasty. Hope sack that. Hopefully they take the wrong rook, but they probably will double back and take the correct rook. We have to get that off to prevent any skewers. Fortunately for us, seems like our opponent is low on time, so that might be something we can keep trying to advantage. You have to keep the knight on c3, unfortunately, just because of all the threats and weaknesses that we are undergoing at the moment. Okay. Come on, come on. We can queen, we can queen. Yes, we can queen. Yes, and then this gives us enough. We can start delivering checks. It's devastating effect. Come on. Okay. Oh, I should have come across and taken on G7, but this is... Oh, no. No, then they can sneak away. It's a draw any day of the week, and we get a rating point out of it. So that's not the worst thing in the world. So let's see what happens in this next game. 1 loss, 1 draw. Okay, not the worst start. Let's come out of the gate swinging. E6, yep, and the very typical idea, if they pushed d5, we come in bishop here. This is what Stockfish likes. And then get that pawn, stopping that knight coming to c3, and then we have the bishop developed. Everything's hunky-dory. So, interesting position. I'm just going to kick the queen there, because we're under no immediate threat, and if we can get h5 with the tempo, why not, I say. Well, they're really playing aggressively here. They want to just come out swinging. We don't want them to be able to play knight g5 or whatever. We want to play knight c6. We really want to get a knight c6 happening so we can jump into e5. Just absolutely dominate. Now, I'm playing this because not only would b5 is something I was considering, but especially with stopping the knight coming in, then that's definitely something we definitely want to do. So let's jump across here. Jump across, attack that. Okay. Is it time for g5? You know what? No, I'm not sure g5 is the way. That might weaken our position a little too much. So let's go c5, threatening c4, threatening to shut everything down and win the piece, which I think we've just done. Very happy with how that's worked out, though our opponent is not giving up. Our opponent is saying, hang on, nope, I'm going to come into e6 with a devastating threat. So we'll say, well, fair enough, mate. You want to do that? I'll give you that one. But I'm also not going down without a fight. Why? Well, a very simple reason. Come in here. I'm up material. So I'm going to swap relentlessly. Absolutely relentlessly. Quickly double back to e5. Oh, they want to keep kicking me. Sure. I'm going to come into c5, and then after that, I'm not sure where you're going. I'm attacking 2 pawns at once. But to be fair, e5 might be a move. Oh. You're not sure that really worked out for us because this position looks pretty vulnerable. I've got so many minor pieces on and around the e file that look really, really vulnerable. Whatever. Okay, I'll take this one. Yeah. Okay, so I've definitely given back material here. Not good at all. Not happy with how that's panned out. Try and connect the rooks here, but we're going to get kicked around by a few rook checks. So... And yeah, we get kicked around again to lose this pawn. Something I'm not happy about at all, but silver lining is if we can call it a silver lining. No, it's definitely not a silver lining. See if we can come over here with a sneaky mate threat or something like that. Come on, surely. Just trying to do something creative. Something creative. Try and gobble up some pawns. Okay, we might have to sack the rook. We do have to sack the rook. Okay. Let's get these pawns rolling down the board. Got myself in a stalemate, potentially. Oh no, worse than a stalemate. This is a clear loss. Clear loss, it looks like. But maybe we can get lucky, who knows. Maybe we can get lucky. I doubt it. No. Not sure what I was thinking there, but yeah, unfortunately, this is just not going well. Yeah. Just going to get mated here, but just not going to roll over and resign for him. I'm going to force white to do it. Come on, hurry up. Checkmate me already, bro. Okay. Okay, on to the next game. On to the next. Okay. Oh, we're playing a FIDE Master. Oh my goodness. First title player of this challenge. Let's absolutely lock in. Let's absolutely lock in on this one. 100% I'm locking in. FIDE Master, we want to be at our very, very best. I have beaten title players using a Fried Fox before, mostly on chess.com, but usually it's a CM or NM, not a FIDE Master, so let's go. I'm going to play c3, my setup c3 here. It's just a very comfortable setup for me. Let's see. Oh, maybe a bit of a weird move, giving double pawns. Yeah, it does. But we have the bishop pair. That's the thing. Double pawns, but hey, we've got the bishop pair. I think I'm going to try and look to hold on to the bishop pair if I can. And try and get something happening on the king side. I think that's our best shot here. Okay. Well, we might have to swap the bishop here, actually, if the knight comes into c4, which is a shame, but c'est la vie. Okay, let's push h6. Try and get a weakness happening. Oh, I just blundered. Just blundered because knight out, check, opens up our center. Okay, they did not spot that or weren't bothered by it, as the case may be. So we've got all sorts of nastiness happening on the e-file. Can we hold our own? I'm trying to bring the a-rook into the e-file if we can. Let's see. Okay. Gonna bring the knight in. Look, pawns on the queen side being dropped at top speed. But yeah, this feels like this is the dynamic way to play this. We get the tempo on the knight, we push the knight around. Have to play that. It's really the only thing to play. Have to play the queen there. Just trying to promote active moves. Put pressure on the clock. That's my motto. Pressure on them on the clock. Whatever. Probably not the best choice, but going for... Oh, did they just blunder? Oh my goodness, guys, we are so back. Fried Fox just took down a FIDE Master. I don't know how that happened. Like, that was the most obvious checkmate threat in the world, but maybe they were just thrown off by our crazy opening, but somehow we won that game. Let's have a quick look at the analysis board. Let's go through this game because I'm curious to see what the computer thought of our play here. So let's go f3, king f2, e3, best move, bishop out, best move. Wow, look at us string together stockfish theory for this terrible opening. d4. Oh, look at that. Takes, knight develop. Wow, all stockfish is best. Okay, this is where we missed because I definitely didn't play bishop f4, which is stockfish's best move here. Really likes this move in a lot of variations because then we get the knight into f4, so that's pretty cool. c3, and then rook there. So what do they think of c3? Not the worst. I preferred the bishop out, but not the worst. Oh, wow, would you look at that? It did like my move of knight a3, getting rid of that knight for the bishop. It does like that move, so let's have a look. h4 is what I played instead. Definitely wasn't as much of a fan of that one. Okay, bishop d7. Knight to a3. Takes. Oh, and it did like the knight a3 here still, so that's good. Bishop back. Wow. Okay, nice. Very nice. So still slightly in black's favor, but we definitely have gone a long way to equalizing in this opening. So knight out, which he does like. And then knight... Oh, so he doesn't... Not the biggest fan of that one. It's saying better would have been knight into f4 now. Okay, fair enough. Really wants that knight f4. h5, not the best. Doesn't like... It prefers pushing h6, but I did the exchange. So pushing h6 now, it doesn't like as much. When do we finally play knight f4? No, we didn't. Yeah, so... Whoops. Okay, this is the mistake I was talking about that I made. As soon as I played this move, I realized knight g5 is just absolutely crushing us. Not necessarily... Well, I mean, actually, yes, material-wise as well, because then that... I'll show you the variation. So, knight g4, f takes, queen takes, and then look, we're in all sorts of trouble here. The pawn on g4 is falling. Black's bringing that bishop in. Black's bringing a queen into e3. It's actually devastating for us. So Very lucky that our opponent missed this. Now, because our FIDE Master, I'm sure they would have seen this if they had a bit more time. But look, some people aren't as comfortable playing bullet. This person could be older, a bit slower on the computer. Who knows what it was? But sometimes I have seen that some title players are very strong classically, but when it comes to bullet, they're not actually that strong. So let's keep going. So what did it think of this one, actually? Yeah, the queen does like the queen here, of course, to back up the bishop, because as soon as I realized my mistake, I was like, I need to back this up. Bishop comes in. It likes to swing the rook across now. Okay. Now, this is still slightly better for black. Okay, let's see how these next few moves went. Because I went e5 here. It likes taking, but it went there. So actually, this is slightly better for us now. So it likes putting the rook across the f file. Makes a lot of sense. Because if we're swinging in an attack by f6, f4, we need that rook there backing us up. The rook's not actually doing anything on the h file. That h pawn on h6 is double protected by the queen and bishop, so really isn't needed. So let's have a look. Queen in. Okay. Queen back. And then that was a mistake. Okay, so this is actually slightly better for black. I should have kept the pressure on with, that was another move I was considering. Bring the rook across, like trying to keep the pressure on. I was just a bit hasty, really, and I was thinking, look, I'm worried that being a FIDE Master, they might be able to come across and gobble up my queen pawns, and I'm just going to try and swap into an endgame where I have a powerful bishop. So, yeah, because of my double pawns, not necessarily the best decision, but we got lucky here because they missed the main one. So that's all there is to it. Look, I'm just going to leave it there for today. If you enjoyed this episode, please drop a like. If you want to follow the journey to 2200, please subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.